Hey guys, it's Matthew Penning here with another lecture snippet. And in this video, I want to show you how to set a static IP address for an Ubuntu server. I currently have installed a fresh install of Ubuntu 14.04, and I'm going to take the dynamic address that I've been given from the DHCP protocol, and I'm going to use it for a static address so that I do not have to worry about it being changed at all. So let me go ahead and log into my server. And the first command that I want to use is to try to get some information about what I've been currently given. So I'll go ahead and use ifconfig and go ahead and hit enter. And I can see that I've been given an internet address under my ETH0 interface of 192.168.2.13. Now that's the IP address that I currently have. It's an IP version 4 address, and the ETH0 interface is the interface for the wired network. So I currently only have one, and it starts counting by 0. I have a broadcast address, which is the address that's used to send a broadcast out to every computer on my network, and that's 192.168.2.255. And then I have a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, which is the default Class C subnet mask. So those three pieces of information are going to be needed for me to set up a static IP address. I'm also going to need to know two other things. I'm going to need to know the gateway address and the DNS server address within my network. To do that, I'm going to use two different commands. I'm going to go ahead and use route-n, and that command is going to give me the gateway. And you can see under my gateway it says 192.168.2.1. So that's an address to leave my network. And anytime the traffic wants to leave the network to go somewhere else on another network, it has to pass through that gateway. The last thing that I need to do is find the DNS server. And I can do that by typing in nslookup and then use the loopback address, which is 127.0.0.1. And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And on this command you can see that I have the same address as what I had for my gateway, which is 192.168.2.1, and that's because I'm on a small network and I'm only using a router here to be my gateway and my DNS server. So in this case it happens to be the same address. It may be different addresses depending on your network configuration. Alright, and before I set the address, I like to go ahead and make sure that it doesn't already exist on the network, so I usually just will try to ping it. And I'm going to try, instead of using the 2.13 on this case, let's go ahead and try 192.168.2.2. I'll go ahead and hit enter. Somebody already has that address on my network, so I can't use that. If I were to try 2.3, that is currently not being used on my network, so I can go ahead and I will assume that I have not already assigned it, and I'm going to go ahead and assign it, in this case, to 2.3. So let's go ahead and Control C to close out of that ping. And let's go ahead and begin by setting up the static IP address. So what I'll need to do is edit a file called interfaces, and I'll do that by typing in sudo, and then I'll use nano to do that, and the file is located under /etc/network, and then the file is called interfaces. So I'll use a / and then go to interfaces. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and let's go ahead and type in the administrative password there. And if I scroll down here under interface ETH0, you can see that it says DHCP. I'm going to go ahead and change that to static. And I go ahead and hit enter, and I can use the tab in this text editor. So let's go ahead and add some of those parameters that I was looking for. So one of them was address, and that's 192.168.2.3. That's the address that I want to use for my IP version 4 address. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter and tab back over. The net mask is the subnet mask of my network, and in this case it was 255.255.255.0. I'm also going to go ahead and add the network address. Now in this case it's the address that represents the network, and that was actually found under the route-n command as well. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in as 192.168.2. In this case it's 2.0. It's the first address that's unassignable on a network. Okay, the next one is going to end up being the broadcast address. And under the broadcast address, that was 192.168.2.255. And let's go ahead and add in the gateway, which was 192.168.2.1. And then we also have the DNS, the name server. So it's going to be DNS dash or hyphen name server, and that's going to be with an S at the end, name servers. And that address is 192.168.2.1 in my case. I'll go ahead and press the Control key and X, which will go ahead and close it and ask me if I want to save it. So I'll type in Y, and then it's going to ask me the file to overwrite, which is the same file it was working on. And in this case, I'll go ahead and just hit Enter, and that'll overwrite that file. Now the changes don't take effect right away. I can either restart the whole operating system, or I can shut down the interface and then bring it back up. And I'll do that so that I can avoid having to shut down the whole operating system. So I'll do sudo ifdown eth0 and go ahead and hit enter. And now my interface is down. I'll go ahead and do the same command again, but this time with if up for interface up, eth0, go ahead and hit enter. And now if I type in the ifconfig command, you can see that I have an address of 192.168.2.3. I have my broadcast and my subnet mask in there. If I did the route -n command, you can see that I have the gateway of 192.168.2.1. Now on the next line down, you can see that under the destination it says 2.0. That's where my network ID is. I also can type in the NS lookup and do the 127.0.0.1 to verify that it still is, and it is 192.168.2.1. That's what I had set. And one last thing that I always like to do before I close out of this is to make sure I can contact a computer outside of my network. So I'll use ping again, and I'll do something like lecturesnippets.com. Go ahead and hit enter, and you can see that I am getting replies back from lecturesnippets.com. So this is good. I'm actually able to contact a computer outside of my network, which tells me that the gateway and the DNS and everything is running the way that it's supposed to. So I'll go ahead and stop that with Control C. I can type in exit, and that concludes the video. If you want to know all the commands that were used in this video, visit lecturesnippets.com, as well as other information that you'll find on the blog for other videos related to Ubuntu.